Hey guys, it's Deborah. I was making a totally different video and then I just got sidetracked on this and I want to share it with you guys because I'm just sidetracked. Yeah, I was thinking about how this whole eclipse through the United States, I was wondering if it actually does mark the middle of the tribulation. And our brother from Cornerstone Redemption, his channel that I've talked about before, he talks about a timeline that kind of involves this. So I wanted to touch base with you guys on this and my thoughts. So, as you know, he had said that he had realized something really amazing, that the 2017 eclipse that happened, um, and there was the 2017 eclipse, and then there was the 2020 solar eclipse on December 14th that just happened. And the time gap between those two eclipses is exactly 1,211 days, which is interesting, but whatever. Okay. But then you also have this, which is the time of the eclipse that just happened in December to the April 8th, 2024 eclipse is exactly, again, 1,211 days. So I had explained this in another video. This is from Brother Cornerstone Redemption. He had realized this, and I was explaining this. Anyway, that's not a coincidence. That basically this solar eclipse that just happened in 2020 divided those two other eclipses by the exact same number. It, like, right in the middle, that December 14th eclipse divided the 2017 eclipse from the one we just had in 2020, 1,211 days. And then again, from December 14, 2020 to the 2024 eclipse, again, 1,211 days, the exact number twice. That's not a coincidence. And this is what I had mentioned. I'm just going to recap it, but I'll tell you what he had mentioned that I missed. So in Strong's 1211, so that exact number actually means indeed now, used to give emphasis or urgency to a statement. So it's like they're saying, look at this. It's like, I feel like God's saying, look, this is huge. It's an emphasis. I'm putting an emphasis on these two eclipses, one in 2017 and one in 2024. And that 2020 divided it and gave emphasis with this number. And then if you look at the very bottom, it says, strongly affirms what at last has become clear and now may be assumed as true. So that we thought, was this a real sign? Yes, it was. The 2017 eclipse was big. The 2024 is big, and it does make a cross over the United States. And it's saying, this emphasis is saying, yes, it is true. Okay, and what we think is going to happen. But he was saying from Cornerstone Redemption, and I didn't even pick this up, that 1211, Daniel 12:11, he feels like it's emphasizing this. And from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that maketh desolate set up, there shall be 1,290 days. So basically what he's thinking is that December 20th, 2020 eclipse that just happened was giving like a light, a beacon saying, look, when 2024 eclipse happens and there's a big cross for the states, that's when the abomination of desolation happens. And if you look at my last video, I think it was my last, it says, it's not my last, but I think my second last, when does Mystery Babylon fall? I go into detail how Ezekiel, Revelation, Daniel, all points that it falls middle of the tribulation. Now, do I think that cross over the United States exactly cuts the tribulation in half? No, not after doing some calculation, and I'll explain why, but it's close. It's close. So basically what I think happens is when that X comes over the United States, that's like their last warning to say, this is it. It's over. So, or I shouldn't say the X is for sure saying Babylon is destroyed, it's over, but that's what it looks like to me. So basically that X is pointing at Daniel 12:11, as I just noted about the 1211, and it's saying now the abomination of desolation is about to happen, which is the middle of the tribulation. It breaks the tribulation in half. I gave great detail about this in several videos, why I proved through scripture it is true. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so what I was trying to do was say, go to Rosh Hashanah, which is Feast of Trumpets, 2028, and calculate back and do some math and see, does this all fit? So the reason I'm doing that is I believe the fall feasts are for the second coming. I don't have 100% proof. I wasn't given a dream, a vision, or anything like that. It's just something that I've felt for a long time. They haven't been fulfilled. The spring were all fulfilled. And because they were fulfilled in a row, I do believe the fall would, to me, it makes logical sense they would happen the same way, as well as the fact that they haven't been fulfilled. So I do believe this is for the second coming. And the trumpets, like the Jews are actually waiting for a trumpet sound when Messiah arrives. I talked about that before. But anyway, so they will hear this trumpet, and I do believe it is for the second coming. But anyway, if that is true, I thought, let me just do some calculation and see, well, does that cross over the X break up the tribulation? Is this 1211 accurate? Let's do some math here. So you see here, Rosh Hashanah, or Feast of Trumpets, happens in 2028 on September 20th to the 22nd. Now, I am a very casual person. I've said before, I don't have exact numbers. The channel Cornerstone Redemption is very, very exact, and he has a theory. He said it before. He's not saying thus saith the Lord. He's giving a theory. And hey, brother, if you're watching, I know you've watched the videos before, and yeah, so if you have any thoughts, let me know. I don't know if you're still watching, but anyway, so yeah, I thought, let me just calculate, put in timeanddate.com. If you guys know what that is, it's just a calculation tool on the internet, and go backwards and see where it brings me. And I'm going to show you my breakdown and what I came to because of timeanddate.com and my theory and possibilities. But first, I'll show you what Cornerstone Redemption has as his possibilities. So basically, the total solar eclipse, the gray American eclipse in 2024 on April 8th, if you see like halfway through there, he has there, and then he has the Great Tribulation basically being the last 42 months starting in August. And then if you calculate, now this is a discrepancy, you can either do 1,260 days, 1,290 days, or 1,335 days. That's a long story. I won't get into it. I'm going to put in the description box a link to a gotquestions.org explanation of all that. So I'm going to put that in there for you guys. But in and around that time, he has it bringing you to either February to like end everything, or the 1,335 days, which we don't know 100% what that means, but that brings you to April. So nothing brings you to fulfilling the fall feast in his calendar. And I think people have asked him, but I haven't heard a response. Again, he's really humble guy. So I like how he's not like, this is how it has to be. So he could totally be right about this, but then it doesn't bring me to the whole fall feast fulfilling thing. So I wanted to do my own numbers and see how we can kind of meet in the middle, where I still think what he found was of the Lord. It feels like to me that 1,211 days, how could that be even possible? That's not a coincidence that the eclipse in 2017 to the eclipse in 2020 is exactly 1,211 days. And I did the calculator. And then from the eclipse again, in 2020 that just happened, to the one that's going to come over that makes the cross in 2024 is exactly, again, 1,211 days. So we know these are not coincidences. And he made that amazing discovery. So I'm just going to show you what I've kind of put together. It's nothing like his at all. He uses a lot of other signs that he sees, like from the September 2017, the September 23rd Revelation 12 sign. He has other things connecting why he thinks things start at a certain time. I'm just going to show you something super quick that I did. He must have taken a long time, but just to say what I see as a, grand guess, so that it works out that the second coming is in the fall feast. Now, again, I just want to say that I just did this quickly. I just did some calculation with timeanddate.com, working back from the Feast of Trumpets in 2028, and just to see what would it look like. But that other timeline from Cornerstone Redemption, like, he may have another thought on this and why he didn't have the second coming in the fall. And I don't know, and that's totally fine. Like, I'm not saying I'm 100% sure. I just wanted to just calculate it out. So I put it, the rapture would be this spring before May 14th, 2021, because the fig tree generation prophecy would expire this May. And yeah, so that's why it would expire in the way that it's 70 to 80 years. So for them to be 80 years, you guys know about the prophecy, basically, for Israel to be 80 years when the prophecy ends, that generation shall not pass, then it has to be 2028. Like, that's from May 14th, 1948, when they were a nation. Like, that's 80 years. So that's why, and you need 7 years for Daniel's 70th week. So, and I do believe it's a full week. I don't believe it's half a week. Some people say it's 14 years, some others, whatever. Like, I truly believe the forefathers had it right all this time, and I'm not at all thinking they were wrong all this time at all. So do you think it's a proper 7 years? Anyway, so that being said, I put the rapture, the pre-tribulation rapture at spring before May 14th. So that's any day. Like it could be his March 6th, 8th. It could, and then the tribulation I put August 2021. I put that because if you work back from Feast of Trumpets, September 20th, 2028, then it basically, well, things have to fall in on certain days. So if the tribulation started in spring, like before May, like started soon, like March or April or May, then it wouldn't work out that we return on the Feast of Trumpets, like that I calculated. So you can see here, I'll just pop on the screen when I did timeanddate.com. Sorry, basically it said that if the tribulation started in August, I think I put like 14th, then 1,260 days plus another 1,335 days, because remember there's another 1,260 days, but it is actually said in Daniel, it's like 1,290 days. And then it said, blessed are those who wait till the 1,335 days. So I just did it that way. So then you have an exact, I think it's like 95 days in total of the whole tribulation. I can't remember exactly, but basically I calculated the whole thing, and then it brought you right on Feast of Trumpets, because Feast of Trumpets is, I think, September 20th to the 22nd, 2028. So anyway, that being said, let's say the tribulation started around August 14th-ish. In 2021, this summer. So then that would work out like that. Again, I am not saying it is this way. I'm saying like I did this calculation. Okay, then let's say you had the Seal 6 Great Multitude Rapture. If you don't know what that is, please see my 3-part Harvest Model Rapture thing. I'll put that in the description box as well, to just catch up to date on that. Most people have seen it. That's like my thing. Like I have to just like put it out there usually for people, because then some of those things I'm saying doesn't make that much sense, but it's not that out there. It's not, and it's all biblical. So anyway, Seal 6, there's this great multitude that's raptured up, more than anyone can ever number. I think that could happen in the spring of 2024, because that happens right before Babylon falls, because I highly doubt God is going to totally demolish Babylon with like everything coming down on it and all the bowls and everything emptying down on it, or I think it was on the trumpets. And like all the Christians at that point who are there in Babylon are going to be destroyed in it. I don't think that's how it's going to go. They're going to be called out. Great multitude goes up in the spring of 2024, and then Babylon is destroyed, let's say on April 8th, 2024, when that big X is over the states. Let's say that's the case, because I'm talking all about these signs, about this 1,211 days, these 2 signs that point at saying like, it's like a beacon saying this is huge, this X is huge. So let's say that is happened on April 8th, 2024. Then you would have the abomination of desolation happening after that. So the abomination of desolation happens after that. Again, if you watch my video, when does Babylon fall? I talk about when the dragon is cast down. I give proof, biblical proof, why it's at a certain point, and why after he's cast down, he only has a time and a half a time. I give biblical proof. So let's say Babylon is destroyed April 8th, 2024. Then the abomination of desolation would happen on April 9th, 2025-ish, because of the Daniel verse and all the stuff where it talks about after the abomination of desolation happens, how much days he has. So it would have to happen, from my calculation, around April 9th and on 2025. So there'd be a year between Babylon being destroyed, the Seal 6 Rapture, and him going into the temple. And then when that happens, he'd have 42 months from then. So from April 9th, 2025 to the second coming on Feast of Trumpets, if that's the case, I say if, then it would all work out. So this is my grand guess here. Yeah, I guess that's it. And so I'm not at all putting down anyone else's grand guess. I'm not, and I'm not saying thus saith the Lord at this point, because he hasn't said that. So, but this is what I'm looking at. So I hope that was interesting to you guys. This was not the video I was meant to do, or not meant to do. I was probably meant to do this. So not the video I was planning on doing. So I'm working on this other one. And then as I'm working on this other one, I have another one that just came to me. So I'm full on, you guys. Like, I'm full on in the way that when I do something, as you can notice, they're in spurts. Like, I'll just like produce all these videos and then nothing for a little bit and then produce all these videos. And yeah, I guess my energy just comes in spurts. So that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed it, found it interesting. Any questions or comments, leave them down below. Again, I'm not saying thus saith the Lord. That was my grand guess. And now I'm getting to work on the next 2 videos that I'm trying to get out for you guys. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. I hope that blessed you, encouraged you, or was interesting, helped you stay focused, get excited for our soon cloud party and redemption and all that. And yeah, I guess I will talk to you guys very soon. Until next time, God bless and shalom.